Hi guys, how are you? It's me, Ricky Scott. I'm so sorry I've been gone for quite a while. Um, I needed a bit of a break. I was on a bit of a hiatus, but I'm back now. Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope you had an amazing Christmas and got everything you wanted. As you can see, I have better um, equipment. I have my little Razer microphone. I'm using a Sony. Got my Sony camera happening. Got some new things going on here. Um, Not much has happened. My Christmas was great. So yeah. Um, so I'm back. I'll be uploading more permanently now that I have everything I need, equipment wise, and also the time and the money too. Yeah. Um, um, so without further ado, we will be reacting to Mr. Ballen, and yeah, hopefully it's not a gruesome one. Oh, and please don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, please give it a little like at the end. Also, I'll leave my Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter links in the L description below. So, yeah, enjoy the video.
Today's story includes some of the most dramatic police footage I've ever seen in my life. So if you're on the fence about watching today's upload, I would encourage you to stick around just for that. But before we get into today's story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and
Okay.
mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place because that's all we do, and we upload once or twice every week. So if that's of interest to you, please draw a gun on the like button and force them to retie your untied shoelaces right after you've stomped around inside of a bathroom of an outdoor music festival. Also, please subscribe to our channel.
Every time. He's always got something funny to do to that poor like button. If anything ever happens to Mr. Ballen, the police must get a warrant out to look at the like button's call history or the like button's house, because anything ever happens to Mr. Ballen, it's definitely something to do with the like button. The like button's got him hostage. He's always being mean to that poor like button. I will say though, sometimes it does give great ideas, like pranks to do to people in real life. So, yes, I need to write some of his like button jokes down so I can get my housemates.
Channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's story. In 2015, 29-year-old Johnny Coxey and his wife, 25-year-old Megan Coxey, were living in a low-income section of Spartanburg, South Carolina. They both struggled mightily with drug addiction to the point where it was nearly impossible to get steady work, and so they often found themselves out on the streets begging for money. Their addictions also made it nearly impossible to be a good parent to their only child. And in fact, in December of that year, Child Protective Services stepped in and took their child away from them. And if that wasn't bad enough, almost immediately after their child was taken from them, both Megan and Johnny were arrested and thrown in jail for various offenses that were connected to their drug habits. So Johnny and Megan are at absolute rock bottom at this point as they're sitting in jail. but they were about to get a big break. After they both got out of jail, they were only in jail for a couple of days, Megan was contacted by a local, very successful real estate agent named Todd Kohlhepp. Todd was someone she had met previously when she used to be a waitress at a local diner, and Todd was reaching out to her to somewhat unbelievably offer her and her husband pretty decent paying jobs. Apparently, Todd had recently purchased this massive 95-acre plot of land in the area, and he needed people to come onto the property and help clean it up and clear brush and clean some of the buildings that are on there, because his plan was to further develop this property. And so he had been reaching out to other people in Spartanburg to see if they were interested, and Megan and her husband were two people he had contacted. And
Sorry, before I forget, I forgot to say at the start, please go subscribe to Mr. Ballen. I'll also put a link in the description to his YouTube channel and to this video of his. As this is his video, I do not take any of the credit for his work. So yeah, please go like and subscribe to his channel. And yeah, like I said, I'll leave the link down in the description.
so, of course, Megan and Johnny say, yes, we would love to do this job. They were in desperate need of cash, and paying jobs did not come around very often. So on December 19th of that year, Megan spoke to her mother and told her about this job opportunity and where it was and what she'd be doing. And then she and Johnny made their way out to this property. And when they got there, they saw this huge chain link fence wrapped around what seemed like a massive forest. And this forest was the 95-acre plot of land that Todd owned. And so apparently at the center of this forest were a few buildings that Johnny and Megan would be responsible for cleaning. And so they made their way down the fence line until they found the break in the fence, and that led to an access road, and they began driving down it deep into the heart of this forest. 3 days later, Megan's mother tried to get in touch with her, but she couldn't. And when she reached out to Johnny, she couldn't get in touch with him either. And so given the couple's history with drugs, Megan's mother thought the worst, that, maybe they overdosed. And so she panics and she rushes to Megan and Johnny's house. They're not there. And so something in her gut tells her that something is wrong here. It's not common for them to just completely go off the grid. And so she called the police. The police began their investigation by speaking to Todd Kohlhepp, who was the owner of this property, because presumably he was one of the last people to see them before they went missing. But when they spoke to Todd, he said, look, I had limited interaction with them. They were on my property. They came out, they cleaned these two buildings on my property, and then I paid them and they left. And we haven't had any contact since. So, unfortunately, I don't have a clue where they would have gone next. And so at this point, the police decide their best bet is just to wait and see what happens. Although they did not tell Johnny or Megan's families this, the police force did have a running suspicion that, it was possible, if not likely, that the couple had used the money from cleaning up this property to go buy drugs, and then they went on a drug binge, and they would either turn up in a couple of days alive or dead from an overdose. But a couple of days went by, and the couple did not reemerge, and no one had any idea where they were. And then a couple of weeks went by, and then a couple of months went by, and it wasn't long before the case went cold.
Oh, am I pissed off? Okay, I'm going on a rant right now. Sorry, guys, but it effing pisses me off when you hear of cases where someone or a group of people go missing, and because of their troubled past or their current lifestyle, their disappearance or the situation that they're currently in is not taken seriously, because it's just put down to, it's just drugs, that's why they're missing, it's because of drugs, or they're probably off doing this because of drugs. Even sex workers are not taken seriously. You hear of, sex workers going to the police station saying that they were raped, or they were abused or whatever, and they put it down to, oh, it's a sex worker making a claim, you know, who cares? Like that's how they're viewed. When when society view people as the the lower people of society, lesser people of society, if they're not to society standards, they're always never taken seriously, or most times never taken seriously. Like in this case, they put it down to most likely a drug overdose or something. And all they did was talk to one guy and ask, how, you know, when was the last time, or have you seen such and such, or when was the last time you saw them. If this had have been anyone that was not on drugs, I can guarantee you they wouldn't have just asked that guy that employed them. They would be asking friends, family. They'd be getting warrants to search homes. They'd be getting warrants to search phone records. All that. But because they are not society standard people, that they did hardly anything to try and find them. It doesn't matter. Like, you guys can say that I'm in the wrong here. I don't care. But in my opinion, no matter where you currently are in life, whether you're at rock bottom, whether you're at your highest in life or in the middle, no matter what your job is, no matter if you're an addict or not an addict, no matter what, if something doesn't seem right, you should get treated the same way as anyone else. The police are there to serve and protect, and that's what they're meant to do. But they hardly serve and protect, or a lot of police, not all, but a lot of police hardly serve and protect those who are not the ideal stand-up citizen, you know. And I hate that. I mean, put in the comments if you think I'm wrong. Tell me your opinion. If, no matter if you're an addict or not, should you or should you not get the same treatment by police? I think you should. Rich, poor, addicted, non-addicted, everyone should be treated the same, especially when they need help. Oh, sorry, rant over. If it had been anyone else, the police would have done way more than talk to one person.
But it would not stay cold for very long. On August 31st, 2016, so roughly 8 months after the Coxies were reported missing, 2 more residents of Spartanburg went missing as well. They were 30-year-old Kayla Brown and her boyfriend, 32-year-old Charlie Carver. The pair had only been dating for about a month, but they were becoming quite serious, with Charlie already introducing Kayla to his family, a step that Charlie's father said was a very big deal for him. Unlike the Coxies, Kayla and Charlie were not struggling with drug addiction or with financial issues. They were actually pretty well off.
Oh, so this will be interesting. I wonder if my opinion will hold true. I wonder if the police will do more for this couple.
Charlie worked full-time operating a printer at a local
if they
business,
go missing.
And Kayla made a living by doing odd jobs around town. According to their families, it seemed like the couple was very happy with their lives and the directions they were going. But
if these guys get missing, I bet more's done. Unless these guys are the suspects. Oh.
But starting on the evening of August 31st, Kayla and Charlie stopped returning text messages or answering phone calls. Charlie's father was especially close with Charlie, and so this sudden silence was immediately noticed by him. But he kind of ruled it out and thought, you know what, I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation for why he's not texting me back. And so, I'll hear from him over the next couple of days. But over the next couple of days, Charlie continued not to answer text messages or pick up phone calls. Same with Kayla. And so after 48 hours of this total silence, Charlie's father finally hopped in his car and drove to his son's house to see if he was there, and he wasn't. And then he drove to Kayla's place, and she wasn't there either. And so none of it made any sense. And so he called the police and he reported them missing. The police started with absolutely no leads. And so what they did to begin their investigation was basically just to interview everybody in Charlie and Kayla's life. Friends, family, acquaintances, employers, co-workers, everyone. But no one had any idea where this couple had gone to. They had not told anyone about some trip they were going on or something they were going to do. It just seemed like they had vanished. And so initially, this investigation really got nowhere. But 2 months after they had been reported missing, the police finally obtained a search warrant that would allow them to look at their respective cell phone records. And when they looked at Kayla's cell phone records, they were able to triangulate roughly where her last known location was.
Sorry, but I'm sorry to pause it again. That's the whole point of a reaction video. But what did I just fucking say? What did I just say? If I said the first couple, all they did was ask the last person that saw them if he knew where they were. And I said that if they had not been drug addicts, the police would have done a lot more, like ask everyone they know and gotten search warrants for the house or the phone, and they would have done a lot more for the couple if they weren't addicted to drugs. But because they're addicted to drugs, the police hardly did anything at all. And exactly what I said, you've got now a couple that are clean, that don't do drugs, and the police did way more for them to try and find them. And they did exactly what I said they would. Asked friends and family and got search warrants to look through the phones. And this is what I mean by people get treated differently based on their lifestyle. And I'm shaking. I'm angry. I'm angry that this happens too often. It breaks my heart. It really upsets me. It almost brings me to tears that police think lesser of people based on their lifestyle and do less for them. Not all police, but most. Ugh.
According to pings her cell phone was sending off to nearby cell phone towers.
Shaking.
And they discovered her last known location, at least of her cell phone, was inside of the same 95-acre plot of land that the Coxies had been in before they went missing. And so immediately the police put in for a search warrant to go search this 95-acre property, and they sent a team actually out to the property, and they actually set up outside of that big fence and just waited for the search warrant to clear. And at the same time, another group of police officers went to Todd Colehep's house, which was actually in town about 20 minutes away from this property, to talk to him about why in the world Kayla's cell phone would be pinging inside of his property. And so when the police arrive at his front doorstep, Todd is obviously caught off guard by suddenly there being all these police officers. And he does understand very quickly how unbelievably suspicious it looks that now you have potentially two couples that have gone onto his property right before they vanished. And so he says to them, look, I know how this looks, but I gotta tell you, I did hire Kayla, and her boyfriend did come along with her. She went onto my property, she did some work for me, she cleaned up some stuff, cleared some brush, and then I paid them, and then they left. That is the last I saw of them. I have no idea why her phone would be on my property.
Sorry, but imagine it. So I'm guessing this guy is the suspect. Well, he is a suspect, but I'm guessing this guy ends up being the guy responsible for whatever happened to both these couples. Now, if the police had have taken the first couple going missing seriously, and they did as much police work as they're doing right now for the second couple. Well, the second couple would probably, if they are not alive, and I'm guessing they're not based on this video, that couple would still be alive today if will probably still be alive today if the police had done their work in regards to when the first couple went missing, because then they would have been able to apprehend this guy and arrested him and put him in jail where he can't hurt anyone else. But they didn't do their job because the couple were drug addicts, so the police did nothing, and now you've got another couple that have gone missing. Well done. Well done on your police work, you lazy pieces of judgmental shit.
At the same time, the team of police officers were kind of grilling Todd.
God,
at
I'm
his
angry.
house. The other team that was outside of the 95
I'm
acre
sorry.
property, they found out their search warrant had been granted, and so they flew through the gate, they got on that access road, and they began bombing into this huge forest. And as they're driving, they pull out their maps they had printed out that showed the rough estimation of where her final location was within this property, and it looked like the last spot was inside of a clearing. And so as they're driving down this access road through all these trees, they see up ahead there is a clearing, and it looks very much like the clearing on their map where this final location is. And when they pull into the clearing, off to the left side of the road are these two green buildings. The left building was like a shed, like something you might keep yard tools in, like lawnmowers and shovels and rakes, that kind of thing. And then right next to it on the right was this metal shipping container, and it had all these metal chains and 5 padlocks keeping it shut. Now, of course, the police are thinking, oh my goodness, is Kayla inside one of these buildings? Because this is probably where her last location was. And so right away, the police went inside of the left building, the shack, because it was easier to get into. There weren't padlocks all over it. And when they got inside, there really was nothing of note. Kayla was not in there. Charlie was not in there. There was no cell phone in there. It was just gardening tools. And so they went over to the right building, the shipping container, and they got out their metal cutting saws and their bolt cutters, and they began cutting into all of these locks and chains. And when they finally got that door open, they were absolutely astounded at what they saw inside.
Oh!
Yes. Pull that one first. All right, let them get ready. Y'all ready? Come on, guys. Just jam it.
Sorry. Real video of police opening the shipping container. Guys, I don't know if this is going to be graphic or not. I'm giving a warning now. If this is graphic, I'm so sorry. Because I haven't seen this. So, disclaimer, if it's graphic, or if you're worried it'll be graphic, you're best switching off the video now. But, knowing Mr. Ballen, if there's anything like blood or anything, he will blur it out. He will make sure it's not visible. God, I hope they're okay.
Watch out. Y'all move. I got it. Watch out.
Joey.
Sheriff's officer.
What?
Back up there. Are you okay?
Grab what? Go.
There is someone in there.
Coming through, okay? What's your name? What's your name, man?
Lauren. Gotcha. All right.
Just a girl. Just a girl. Just a girl. How are you, honey? This is Bolt Cutters. This is our best. He's a paramedic.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get you out of there. Okay.
Just hang loose for me.
Anybody got? I need a handcuff key.
The police had just discovered Kayla. She was in rough shape, and she had a metal chain wrapped around her neck that was anchored to the wall, and she was handcuffed, but she was alive. And after they cut her free and got her out of the shipping container, she told them what happened. She said back on August 31st, 2016, so this was the same day that Charlie's father had realized his son was not responding to his text messages, and when he was calling Kayla, she wasn't answering either. So on that day, Kayla says she was contacted by a friend of hers, Todd Colehep, and he told her that he was still looking for people to come out and help clean up the property because he was getting ready to develop it. And so Kayla, she was looking for work, and so she agreed to do it. And after getting this job, Kayla would tell Charlie, and Charlie, just being a good boyfriend, said, you know what, I'll tag along with you and I'll help you do this job. I won't ask Todd for any money. I'm just gonna go and help you. And so Kayla was totally thrilled about this. And so later that day, she and Charlie, they made their way out to the 95-acre property. They reached that fence that kind of borders the entire property. They followed it until they hit that break in the fence. They hopped on the access road and they began driving into the heart of this very thick forest. And after driving for several minutes, they reached this clearing. And in this clearing, they see Todd up ahead on the left. He's smiling and waving at them. And he's standing in front of the shack and the metal shipping container. And so Charlie pulls the car in right in front of Todd, and then Charlie and Kayla, they get out, they walk up to Todd to, see what he needs, see what he wants them to do. And as soon as the couple is standing in front of Todd, Todd just casually pulls out a gun and shoots Charlie 3 times in the chest. And as soon as Charlie falls to the ground, Todd aims the gun at Kayla and says, if you go anywhere, I will kill you and I will kill your family. And then he put the gun away, walked over to Charlie, and he wrapped him up in a blue tarp, and then he carried his lifeless body and dumped him in the nearby bucket of a tractor. And then Todd just walked back over to Kayla, who's witnessed this entire thing. She is so terrified she can't even move, and she's just staring at Todd. And Todd draws his gun again at her and orders her to go into the shipping container. So he brings her inside, he locks her up, and for 65 days, she would remain his prisoner.
Oh my
And over the course
God.
of those 65 days, Todd would once or twice a day come down and do whatever he wanted with her. And he told her at the outset that if she ever tried to resist him in any way and didn't do whatever he wanted with her, he would not only kill her, he would also kill her family. And so Kayla...
Oh, I'm sorry, I have to pause this. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm gonna have to put a disclaimer in the description so that people know whether to watch this or not. I'm sorry guys, I had to pause that. I'm sorry, that's just really upsetting. Oh, I'm so sorry that I am upset. It takes a lot to make me cry. God. That poor girl had to see her partner be killed and then endure torture for 60-something days. What happened to the other couple? Where are they? Gosh. See, I wonder if the police had done their job to start with. If they would have caught him in time before he got this couple. And that could have saved someone's life. Sorry, I don't usually get emotional, guys. That just... Oh, I feel so sorry for her.
Very early on decided she would not put up a fight. She just kind of accepted that this was her life, that she would be horribly mistreated, and then probably at some point he would grow tired of her and kill her, but at least she would be sparing her family. And so when the police finally went into that shipping container, Kayla truly did not expect ever to be rescued. So when you watch that video, you need to understand that was someone who believed she was 100% going to die inside of that space. And so after Kayla tells the police officers this totally horrible and traumatic story, they immediately radio over to the other team of police officers that were still at Todd Colehep's residence, still talking to him, and they tell them, hey, this is what Kayla just told us. Todd's reaction to this news was also captured on video.
We have Kayla. We have Kayla in your property. She was locked in a container, okay? She has told us that you shot and killed Charlie. Why did you shoot her?
I didn't shoot her. That's wrong.
Okay, why did you lock her in a container in your property? She's on your property right now.
I don't know if I'm going to upload
She's
this
gonna
one.
bury Charlie's body on that property.
I might. I don't know.
So you're saying you didn't lock her up, you didn't put her in the Connex box or anything?
I'm gonna need an attorney.
Probably a good thing. Go ahead and put him in the back of your car.
Even though Todd would initially deny any wrongdoing and would claim he had nothing to do with what happened to Kayla or Charlie, he would eventually confess not only to killing Charlie and kidnapping Kayla, but also to killing Johnny and Megan Coxey. Apparently, he had done to them what he did to Kayla and Charlie. He had lured the Coxeys onto his property on the promise of work, and then when they reached those two structures, he drew a gun and he shot Johnny and killed him, and then he ordered Megan to go inside of the shipping container. Now, unlike Kayla, who would ultimately comply, and it did save her life, Megan did not. She fought back. She was totally resistant. She wouldn't do anything that he wanted her to do.
Good on you, girl.
And so after only 5 days of her being in captivity, he would kill her. And the way he would describe her was, oh, you know, she was acting like a wild animal, so I had to put a bullet in the back of her head. He didn't care at all about these people he had killed. Charlie, Johnny, and Megan's bodies would all be discovered in shallow graves right outside of that shipping container. Knowing he was potentially facing the death penalty,
Please get the
and
death
wanting
penalty.
to avoid
Please
that,
get it.
Todd told police after he had confessed to these murders that he could actually confess to even more murders, and if he did, could they take the death penalty off the table? And so the police ultimately would agree, and Todd would tell them that back in 2003, he had walked into a motorbike shop and killed 4 of their staff members. Apparently, a couple of days earlier, they had offended him in some way. He had gone in there and they had kind of made some snide remark about how he was bad at riding motorcycles. It was kind of in good fun. It was not meant to be very mean, but Todd had taken it as an absolute offense and he could not stand for it. And so literally in broad daylight, he had walked back into the store and gunned all of them down. And then once they were all down, he had walked by each of them and put an additional round into each of their heads. And so as Todd is telling the police this terrible story, he's totally nonchalant about it. He's laughing about it, and he's even bragging to police that they would be proud of him at how quickly he cleared the superbike shop, meaning how quickly he got in there and killed everyone inside. That somehow, because police officers use weapons too,
I cleared that building in under 30 seconds. You guys would have been proud. I'm sorry, but you guys would have been proud. What? I don't think the police would be proud that you can mow down 4 people in 30 fucking seconds, you piece of shit.
they would appreciate how efficient he was. These 4 murders would be the only additional murders Todd would confess to, and they would be enough to take the death penalty off the table. But it's believed Todd had killed more people. In fact, he had blatantly admitted to Kayla when she was in captivity that his body count was in the high 2 digits. And most likely he was telling her this because he planned on killing her before she could ever escape and tell anyone. But of course, she was rescued, and so the world now knows.
Premeditated.
However, if Todd never confesses to any more murders, there's a very good chance we'll never know about them. One of the more disturbing aspects of this case is after it became public that Todd Kohlhepp was the killer, someone discovered that an anonymous account was doing all these product reviews on Amazon, and this anonymous account was Todd Kohlhepp. And the products he was reviewing were things like knives and shovels and chainsaws, and the reviews literally were about how he planned on using
entrenching tool, folding shovel, 5-star, keeping car for when you have to hide the bodies. Keep in car when you have to hide the bodies and you left the full-size shovel at home. Does not come with a something which would have been nice. SOG Pentagon fixed blade. 4 stars. It will it will be with a quality tool like this. Haven't stabbed anyone yet. ... Yet. But I'm keeping the dream alive. And when I do, it will be with a quality tool like this. Keeping the dream alive? Husqvarna. No, it's not Husqvarna. I learnt from PewDiePie, it's Husqvarna. Husqvarna works excellent getting the neighbor to stand still while you chase him with it is hard enough without having an easy to use chainsaw.
Using these tools to kill people, or they were how he had used these tools to kill people, or how he had disposed of bodies. And then there was also a couple of reviews of padlocks, and one of the reviews said he had 5 of them on a shipping container, and so now the shipping container was just like Hotel California. Hotel California is the famous song by the band The Eagles, and in this song, the famous line is, "You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave." Todd was ultimately sentenced to 7 consecutive life sentences, which means he'll spend the rest of his life in
Kill
prison.
him.
So that's going to do it, guys.
I'm sorry, but there are fates worse than death. And I hope that whatever fate he's getting in jail is extremely bad. Because, yeah, there are fates worse than death. And death would probably be the easiest way out for him. But the fact that it was premeditated, like Mr. Ballen said, if he was going to kill that girl, he was going to kill Kayla, but she was rescued, so he didn't get a chance to kill her. So it was premeditated. The whole lot.
If you got something out of today's episode and you haven't done this already, please draw a gun on the like button and force them to retie your untied shoelaces right after you've stomped around inside of the bathroom of an outdoor music festival. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly 1 or 2 video uploads. We are now selling merchandise like flannels and hats and hoodies and all sorts of stuff. If you're interested, go to shopmrballen.com. If you want to see upcoming deals and promotions for our shop, go to our shop's Instagram page. The username is shopmrballen. If you want to get in touch with me, you can direct message me on Instagram or on Twitter. My username for both platforms is the same. It's just Mr. Ballen. I also have a ton of content over on TikTok where my username is also Mr. Ballen.
Alright. So, that was quite a video, that one. I'm probably gonna upload this. I will upload this. I'll just have to put a disclaimer about how very distressing this video is. I don't usually cry. Oh my god. I'm glad I don't have makeup on, because it would be running. Yeah. I have a bit of eyeliner on, that's about it. But it would be running. So, I hope that any of you guys watching this are okay afterwards. I apologize in advance if this video really gets to you and upsets you. Like I said, I will put a disclaimer at the very start in the description. But if you find that's quite distressing and that, please don't watch it. But if you do get through it, let me know in the comments whether you liked it, and what you think of the new quality of equipment I have now. And also, if you do need to talk after seeing this video, you know, you can reach out in the comments section. Or hit me up in Facebook or Instagram or something, or Twitter. Like I said, I'll leave everything in the description how you can contact me. And if you have any ideas on or any videos you want me to react to, if I haven't seen them, I will react to them. Just send me the just let me know in the comments of any videos, or send me some links to my social medias, or put the link in the description down below in the comment section, and I will
We have a second YouTube channel just called Mr. Ballen Short.
whoops, and I will do a reaction to those videos. As long as they're not, you know, X-rated, I will not be reacting to any adult style stuff, and I will, yeah, be blocking you from my YouTube. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of the morning, lunch, evening, night. I don't know what time it is wherever you're watching this. It's currently very early for me. It is 6:55 in the morning, and I'm going to upload this. I'll be doing a bunch more videos later today, and I'll upload another one later. But I'm back, so I will be uploading often. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And do other thing, like and subscribe to Mr. Ballen. And yeah, trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by December next year. Hopefully we can do that. I reckon we can, now that I've got a lot more better quality stuff, and we'll be able to upload more. We should be able to get to 5,000 minimum by December 2022. Yeah. Also, let me know what you guys got for Christmas. I want to hear what you got for Christmas. What did you eat for Christmas? Did you have turkey? Like, who'd you spend Christmas with? All that. I want to hear about all your Christmases. I love hearing about people's happy days. So, yeah. Have a wonderful day, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Love yous. Mwah.